So this is Kovu, and we're doing acupuncture on Kovu today. Kovu gets a little treat with every acupuncture because he's a very good boy and he stays still for us. And even the stressed animals, anybody who's a little bit nervous or hasn't had it before, we make sure that we give them a treat because we want it to be a pleasant experience every time. Yeah, here you go. My acupuncture needles come fully sterilized and they're never reused. So they come in these packs. They're very fine needles and most dogs don't even feel them. I've actually opened up several as soon as Kovu walked in the door because I know approximately what he's going to be needing. Okay.
And what does this treatment really do for this dog right here?
You know, there's so many different conditions that we can use it for. And the way a diagnosis comes about is through several different assessments. So an Eastern diagnosis looks at everything from the personality, the number of problems they've had, you know, the types of problems they've had in their lifetime, how they interact, tongue and pulse diagnosis. So we actually take more than just one thing. In a typical Western exam, I have a symptom, such as a cough or diarrhea or a urinary issue. I'm going to treat that one symptom. In Eastern medicine, we take the whole dog and all the issues they've had and are having over a lifetime and make sure that we get them balanced. So that's a really good question, but it's hard to give you a very clear answer on that.
Yeah.
So we're treating him for specifically what he is and who he is and getting him balanced. Now, acupuncture points in Eastern medicine are considered to, what we're doing is we're balancing his chi, or his energy. We've all woken up in the morning and said, I'm low energy, or hey, I'm high energy. So we all have that kind of idea of what energy is without being able to touch it or clearly define it. Now, that's just translated to Qi when you're talking about Chinese medicine. So the Qi runs through our bodies in rivers called meridians. And sometimes when these meridians are blocked is when disease processes can occur. So by using the needles, we can help to stimulate or open or encourage these meridians to get good health. He's doing wonderful. He's always a good patient.
Now, how long have they been doing acupuncture on animals? I've never really heard about it before.
It actually goes back to, gosh, thousands of years ago when they started, I want to say about 2000, I'm not absolutely certain, when they were doing it on humans. But you think of transportation back then and diseases back then, they were primarily focusing on horses. So horses that had either lameness issues or maybe stomach issues, all those sort of things. And they would treat them with acupuncture as well, and they got a lot of success with that. Now, what we're using is what's called transpositional points, meaning that these points have been clearly defined in people, and we've transposed them onto similar anatomical points on our pets to get the same results. Some of them are being fine-tuned. Some of them have been used for years and years with success already. You'll notice as I'm putting the needles in, he doesn't really react to them. They are very fine-tipped needles, and they're a different type than what people traditionally consider for, oh, I went to the doctor and I got a shot, or I had to have my blood drawn. They're completely different needles because they're not made for injection. They're not made for drawing out of fluids. They're just made for fine stimulation.
Is this pretty common in the veterinary field? Do all veterinary centers do acupuncture?
No, absolutely not. It is becoming more common, and I absolutely recommend to anybody who has the availability to look into it for their pets. And it's not about, like I said, having one symptom and one cure, but balancing the body systems in general. Now I got my certification at the Chi Institute up here near Gainesville, Florida. And in our class, there was maybe 150. So it's not a whole lot over, the course of the year. There's not a whole lot, but it is gaining popularity. I think that both in human medicine and in veterinary medicine, people are starting to really realize its value.
Have you found that Kovu benefits from these treatments a lot?
Absolutely. He's lost almost 5 pounds.
Really?
It's helping him walk because he could hardly walk when I'm going in here.
That's amazing.
And Rosadaxin, that's one of their problems. He had a long back.
And we did her other dog, Peanut,
Yes, because he had a bad
for
back.
several treatments before this, particularly for his back
Yeah.
problem, to address that.
Now he can jump into a chair, and I don't want him doing that, but he can do that now, where he couldn't before.
Oh, okay.
Now he was walking like a Halloween cat.
Yeah.
But he doesn't do that now.
Some of the major conditions we'll use this for is pain. Tends to be one of the biggest conditions. Pain from arthritis, pain from surgery, pain from injury. And I've seen a lot of success in animals who are treated because we are stimulating those nerves. All right, darling.
Yeah.
All right. Other issues that we can treat are everything from allergies to, okay, fella, to metabolic conditions, other body systems, thyroid, diabetes, Cushing's disease. And this isn't something that would be an only type treatment for those more difficult diagnoses. It would be something to add to it to improve the quality of life. Okay. So what I'm doing now is I'm getting him hooked up, and we're going to do some electrostimulation of these points. And this is going to add a little bit deeper and a little bit longer effect of the acupuncture point. Many of my patients will relax or even nap. Peanut did. Now off we go.
And what do they feel when they when you turn those on right there?
That's a really good question because it is an electrical stimulation, but it's such a low level that we keep it below what they consciously feel.
Okay.
If I see him turn around and look at me or act as if it's bothering him, then we turn it down. I actually have a nice intensity level that I can turn up or down. I felt it myself, and it almost feels like ants, tiny ants just crawling along that line. It doesn't hurt, it doesn't feel like a shock wave or anything like that. It just kind of feels like a tiny vibration. And like I said, I'll keep it below the level where our animals can feel it. Okay, so we do this level for 15 minutes, and then I do a separate level for another 15 minutes. This is more of a pain relief level, and then the other one treats deeper symptoms.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and that's our Kovu.
He loves that ice cream there.
It's a good motivation. It's a very
He
good
likes
motivation
food.
for
And
him.
that's,
Yes.